Hi, this is Amy Grant with my friend Khalil Ekulona. Join us for a conversation about the me that remains.
The me that remains.
Amy, how are you?
I am fantastic.
It's beautiful. I mean, the last time we saw each other was on my show, This is Nashville, that I hosted for WPLN.
How many years did you do that?
About 3 years,
Okay.
just over 3 years. Yeah. Hundreds of episodes, thousands of guests.
You probably know more about Nashville and all the beautiful cracks and crevices and perches of how to see this town than people that grew up here.
That's what's been said to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that I know more than someone who's grew up here, because there's histories that haven't been spoken about that they've lived. I will say that in my time out of being in the host chair, I've had an opportunity to explore the city and to really see what it's like. Because for a while there, I was talking about Nashville, and yeah, I'm able to be in certain parts of the city and go to certain events and meet people. But now, as a civilian, as I like to call myself, in the middle of the day, I can just go appreciate and experience a part of Nashville that I really didn't have the opportunity to. So
That's right.
I will say that the experience has made me a Nashvilleian.
I love that. Lucky us.
Oh man, I'm the lucky one. Okay, so when we talked a little bit about this album that you're working on,
Right.
and you're still in process of putting some things together. Now that the project is done, tell me this: how are you feeling?
I'm so glad I had the chance to have that creative experience. And I don't know that I would have thought in my 60s I would have made a new record. I happily tour, 70 to 80 shows a year. Everybody comes, they want to hear the old stuff. And how this album emerged was so organic. And, there was never a contract with the producer. There was never, the summer of 2024, I just started intentionally writing songs again. I was just curious to explore different songwriting relationships, maybe that I never had explored before. And so I just engaged other creative people that I hadn't worked with before, some that I had, and just little by little, 2 songs at a time, 4 more songs, and all of a sudden I went, well, we got a record. Who knew? Yeah.
You said, okay, you didn't think you would be releasing another record, a new album, in your 60s. I mean, from what I understand, you have 20 studio albums. This is your 21st?
I guess I've not counted because, at some point they do so much kind of repackaging. And so, I don't know.
But I feel like, younger artists are always, they're kind of wanting to be prolific, constantly coming up with new revelations, new understandings about life, and statements that they want to make within their art and their music. And older artists, sometimes, you've been in the game for a long time. I imagine you could be tired and you could be settled with just playing the older songs and touring. But there's statements, life, understanding, things that you've gone through that you want to share people. What was going on in 2024 when suddenly you just picked up your pen and you started writing new songs again?
I really think because I get to sing my old catalog night after night, there are times that it would be like somebody saying, hey, put that outfit back on from college that you used to wear. And sometimes I would go, I don't know if I would pick this outfit now, or life feels so much more expansive, and sometimes it would just float through my head. Wouldn't it be fun to sing about what life looks like now? And so, yeah, I can't say I overthought it. I just sat down and started writing.
You just did.
Just did.
Do you find yourself writing? Are you a morning writer, or do you wake up at 2 a.m. and come up with an idea and write something down? What time of day does the inspiration hit you?
Early morning. Which, by the way, who knew? Like, I discovered that. And and I don't know. I don't remember ever being a morning writer. I remember having a deadline. I think my strength is lyrics, And I just remember so many times, like I'm supposed to go in the studio the next day, and it's midnight, and I'm like, sit down with a pen, get it done, get it done. Because there's something about that pressure. I actually sort of like pressure. I like the chaos that it creates. Whether it's having to be ready to go on stage, I'll procrastinate, and then I've got like 18 minutes to get ready, and But there's something about the unknown. It's like out of a little bit of chaos. There, you don't really know what's going to happen. And so, but I don't feel that way creatively now. Like in the morning, and I discovered that with this record, sometimes I would wake up, sometimes before the sun would come up. And so I would just like go sit with a pen and paper, or, sit with my phone that I could write something on. And, and just give whatever feeling this is, whether it's unrest, curiosity, remembering a conversation, just let it emerge and be patient. And really, songwriting for me at this point of the game is all about time, intention, patience, toolkit, but it. And partly it's because, like, at this point in the game, there are so many great songwriters. There's so many great artists. And what I have to offer that's unique is it's just the lens through which I see life. There are a lot better singers now. There are a lot better, more prolific writers. And so it's like, if you're going to offer something, offer what's unique to you. Because every person sees life through a slightly different lens. And when we share that with each other, it broadens our perspective. You go, oh, you see it that way. Well, that never occurred to me. And to me, that's why it's so important to be willing to say, this is kind of the way it looks to me.
Yeah.
And so that's to me, the excitement of creativity, to just share a perspective.
You wake up early in the morning. You're writing these lyrics, either with a pen or on your phone. I equate lyrics and lyricism to poetry.
Oh, yes.
When you're in these, is there a particular environment that you like to be in? Is it low lit? Are you outside? Are you in a particular corner of the house?
I do have a room that I like to write, 2 different places I like to write. But anywhere works as long as it's just quiet. Quiet's nice.
And your lyrics sometimes read like poetry. We'll talk about a few of the songs that are in there. Are you pushing yourself to be particularly profound with certain lyrics, or is it just coming out of you as if you were talking to someone next to you?
Profound, that's a heavy word. I think I'm just trying to be thoughtful, like what's worth saying. And there's something real, it's a real gift to say, what do you think about this? I mean, we'll talk about this later, but I wrote a song that the inspiration came from it after several artists had been to Capitol Hill after the Covenant shooting. And I just remember sitting down, it was wintertime, I was sitting in front of the fire, and in a quiet room, and I sat a long time and just going, and so what would you say from this? What do you think about that? Because opinions, or I don't know, to be forced to organize a thought, the energy behind that thought, the intention behind it, what actually the words you say, all that, how you launch, how you land, all those things matter, because it all kind of creates you're creating a space to welcome somebody in, to see life in that environment. It's different than saying an opinion, or making a statement, because you're always trying to welcome somebody in with creativity.
And that shared on a song, it's permanent. It's there forever. Sometimes people have statements that they make and they retract them, but people are going to put on this record and say, this is where Amy Grant was at this particular time. Some people maybe mistake that think that you're there forever, that you won't have the ability to change. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. We all change, we all evolve. But the intention of putting that thought, that statement, expressing yourself so purely in that moment, that's like sharing wisdom.
Oh. Wisdom is not the word I thought you were going to say.
What do you think I was going to say?
I don't know, but yeah. I mean, a song really, it's a moment in time. Mm-hmm. But for the writer and for the listener, it is honesty.
Yeah. Yeah. You said you wanted to work and engage in songwriting in a different manner than you had before on your previous projects. You worked with a few familiar songwriters and some new ones, and here's just a list of them. Ruby Amonfu, John Foreman, Michael W. Smith, Mike Reed, Mac McAnally, Caroline Jones, Chris Eaton, and Tom Douglas.
Yes.
That's quite a list of folks.
Yes.
When you talk to them about, hey, I'm working on this, let's work together, what were those conversations like? How did you express to them that you wanted to take the approach to songwriting a little bit differently than you had before?
Well, as a lyricist, usually I'm given somebody else's music. I can rework the melody to something that feels more comfortable for me, but like, for instance, my relationship with Michael W. Smith, we've written together since the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I guess what was different about this record is the lyrics came first.
Okay.
And so, and so I remember showing up saying, "Hey, I've got a song that I would love for us to do together." And the way I usually say it, like other co-writers I've worked with, I'll say, "Hey, I need a playground to play on." And so, like Tom Hemby is a great guitarist, and we've written songs together over the years, and he would like create a musical bed and give me total free reign over what melody to put on top of that. I mean, I play guitar, I'm a decent rhythm player, but you kind of just revert to the same chord progressions over and over again. So, that's always how I ask a musician, any chance you give me a playground to play on? Mm-hmm. And so, but I've never gone in and say, hey, let's create some music about this, because whoever's the first one to do something, there are no rules.
Uh-huh.
And so the challenge of being a lyricist, especially like with Keith Thomas, he would create a sonic puzzle. And for him, it was even about what vowel he wanted over what notes. So I was like, wow. Oh my gosh.
That's some science right there.
That's like Tetris. Yeah. And so, like with Michael, I said, would you help me with this music? And he said, I don't even know what to start. It was a song called The Saint. And he said, it was just like, he said, I don't really know what to do right now. And so we're sitting in the studio, and I said, let's just get a tempo. And so he pulls up all of his machines, and we're trying to figure out what feels like the right tempo. And then, he's trying to figure out like a drum loop, but it needs to be a loop that's inspiring to him and feels good to me. And so we're kind of discovering that. And, and eventually I said, let me just speak this lyric the rhythm that I feel of how I might sing it. And so I'm just speaking the lyric over his drum loop. And then later on, he sent me a musical bed, still not a melody, just a musical bed. And I was like, this doesn't feel quite. And we were both traveling, both working.
Yeah.
And then he said, let me take another run at it. And then he played a different musical bed. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can find a melody over that. And when we went into the studio with the musicians, we just played me speaking in rhythm over his musical bed.
Okay.
And it was as we were tracking the song that I was figuring out what to sing. And so, the real gift of this project was just the creativity at every step. And that was the gift for me, you know.
It's the gift for the audience too, because the project is amazing. But I love what she said, and this is a good lesson for aspiring musicians, not just young ones, but older people who want to pick up an instrument and start expressing themselves musically. You allowed yourself the freedom to go into the studio with just a cadence over a very basic musical bed. Through the genius of musicians and the people that you're working with, you allowed yourself to make it happen right then and there. Mm-hmm. That song is in the movement. I mean, so many people are so strict with pre-production. They know what they're going to do before they get into the studio. Mm-hmm. Is it obviously you didn't know what you were going to do when we got in the studio, but did you know how you wanted to feel when you were in the studio recording that song?
To me, I just wanted it to be believable. That's really always the goal.